You guys hear the Epstein list doesn't exist? Look, I don't care who the president is. I don't care how good his administration is for America. They're f***ing lying to us. Look, if that list wasn't going to put dozens of billionaires, hundreds of politicians, members of the royal family, powerful Democrats, powerful Republicans, and half of Hollywood in prison, that list would definitely exist. When they say the list doesn't exist, it's kind of true, but it's only part true. The whole truth is the list doesn't exist anymore. And that's because they deleted it. There you have it. Diddy's about to be a free man. None of the Epstein clients are ever going to see consequences from their actions. And regular people like you and me are going to continue getting locked up for pirating Disney movies and illegally housing squirrels in our apartments. Seems like the system's working perfect.
Tom MacDonald, I can agree with you, sir. And I'm sure a lot of Americans can agree with you as well. Something is going on, as you see. And I have another video dropping here in a minute. Dan Bongino is out. He is reportedly, supposedly, allegedly, whatever you want to call it, leaving the FBI because Pam Bondi, it's getting hot in there. And apparently Dan Bongino wants out. He had to take a day off to regroup. It's not looking good, folks. You can't just cover this up. You'll never gain our trust again. And that means everyone else is just going to get away with it because you guys don't want everything to collapse. When no, really, all these people need to be locked up. We can start fresh. We can replace all these people that were involved. Doesn't matter what positions they were in. They can be replaced.
What a massive, unforced error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search with Trump on Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans in stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. This is a story in which he's trying to get away from, basically saying, why is anyone still interested in this story? But the bottom line is people are very interested in this story to historic degrees, at least this week.
Give us some perspective. You see that 1,200 number about other stories in comparison, how people are viewing this one.
Yeah, okay. So, I mentioned tariffs earlier on, right? Epstein has been Googled a lot since Monday. He has actually been Googled 1.4 times as much as tariffs has been Googled. And that is, of course, a huge news story. How about Grok, which is another insane news story this week? I mean, my goodness gracious. But in fact, Epstein has been Googled 2.5 times as much as the Grok story has been Googled. So the bottom line is this is a story in which there's a lot of interest. And it's one of the few stories in which both Steve Bannon and Elon Musk are going after Trump. At least the Trump administration, he's managed to bring together two parts of the administration or two parts of the fan base that have normally been against each other.
Yeah, you can bet on anything, and this proves it. What are you seeing as far as whether or not people think that they will actually release these Epstein files?
Yeah, I know my buddy Vin from Jersey would love for the Trump administration to release more Epstein files. But get this, Trump releasing more Epstein files in 2025. This is the betting market odds. You go back 2 months ago, it was 43%. You go back even a month ago, it was 39%. But now it's just at 20%. I think that there are going to be a lot of the normally MAGA fan base who are going to be very disappointed. And this is all a self-inflicted error by Trump and the Trump administration.
Many in the administration were pushing all these conspiracy theories, promising bombshells when they got into office, and nothing.
It turns out what goes around sometimes comes around when you push conspiracy theories.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say what goes around comes around when you're talking about conspiracy theories, because this obviously is a lot more than a theory. Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail, so we all know that there were some things that were happening. She wouldn't have been thrown in jail for the rest of her life if Jeffrey Epstein wasn't doing all these horrendous things. Now the problem lies in Pam Bondi covering all of this stuff up. What is going to come out of that? I mean, Dan Bongino wants to quit. So something is going on here. It's either a lack of communication, a real cover-up, or something else entirely. But I don't necessarily buy the fact that they're trying to use it as a way to wage war against the powers that be and hold them accountable in order for Trump to make deals in some crazy chess move that Trump is doing that everybody keeps saying. I truly don't believe that. I think not only Pam Bondi dropped the ball, but somebody is covering something up. And I made so many videos and put in so much effort to make sure people saw how good Trump was when he was running for office. And I really, truly believe that this was going to be something great. And a lot of great things have happened, right? There have been some positive things that have come out of this, but this is not what I voted for. And, you can be mad at me. I don't care. At what point are we going to put real moral values over the nonsense? Right? I'm not going to cover up for somebody and make it seem like, oh, they're doing this when obviously you have to use your context clues and be like, yo, something's up. The conservative influencers out there are going to back up Trump no matter what. Some of them are never going to admit any truth when it comes to this, such as Charlie Kirk. When clearly something is up, how can we ever get on the one accord and be on a better page with one another if we can't agree on anything, even the obvious? Crazy, man. How do you guys feel? Do you think this story will ever come out? Do you think we'll ever hear the truth? Do you agree with that 20%? I think the actual number is 0. I think we will never find out who is really on that list and what really happened. And it just really, really brings back the distrust in the government. I always lacked trust and faith in the government. Then Trump came around and he had so much transparency. I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy. He's going to keep things transparent with us and tell us what's really going on. He's going to fight the deep state. He's got Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, and Pam Bondi. They're going to crush it. They're going to defeat the deep state. We're going to start fresh. Who else fell for that? Unbelievable. What do you guys think? Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. I still do support Trump. I do believe that he is still the better candidate, obviously, than Kamala Harris. It's not even close. We still are in a much better position having him in office than Kamala Harris by a long shot. But it's okay to call a spade a spade. It's okay to be upset. And it's okay to criticize somebody if you think something is wrong. Otherwise, you're just ass kissing. You guys watching Unexplained Outlook. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.